Today we'll be making Sniper's Kukri from TF2.
These are things you'll need: cardboard, box cutter, hot glue, spray paint, burnt sienna acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, titanium white acrylic paint, paintbrush, Mod Podge, and a sponge brush. First I started out by drawing the shape of the kukri onto some cereal box cardboard. And I didn't have a piece of cereal box cardboard big enough, so I had to split the kukri up into two pieces. Then once those pieces were drawn out, I cut them out with a box cutter. Then I used those two pieces to trace the shape of the kukri onto some thicker cardboard. I made sure to make the blade a ½ inch thinner so that later I could add a nice sharp edge on there. I cut two of those out with a box cutter so there'd be one on each side. Then I traced the shape of the handle onto some cardboard. Then cut it out with a box cutter. And I did do this twice so there'd be one handle piece for either side of the kukri. And then to add some more detail to the handles, I traced the shape of the handle onto a piece of cereal box cardboard, drew two circles that it has in game, and then cut it out with a pair of scissors. And then use an X-Acto knife to cut out those circles. Then I traced the shape of the cross guard onto some cardboard, and then cut it out with a box cutter. And again, I did this twice, one for either side. Then I glued everything together. First, I started by gluing the side panel pieces to the main cereal box cardboard piece, doing it in sections so that I could get the alignment just right. I glued the crossguard pieces on. I glued the detail pieces to the handles. I glued the handle pieces onto the kukri. I covered up all the corrugation with cereal box cardboard. And I made the edge of the blade by gluing on some cereal box cardboard at an angle and then cutting off the excess. If you want a more in-depth look on how I did that, I use the same technique in my flying guillotine video, which I'll have in a card right there and linked in the description. Then it was time to paint. First I hit it with a flat gray primer coat, and painted it silver with some silver spray paint. Then I painted the handles with burnt sienna acrylic paint. I did mix in a little bit of black just to darken the color a little bit. And it took multiple coats to get a nice, solid, even coat over the handles. Then I painted the space in between the handles a dark gray color, just to mix some white and black acrylic paint together. And it did take a couple coats to get a nice even color. Then I painted the crossguard a lighter gray, not as light as you're seeing now. I realized it was way too light and went back in and darkened it up off camera. Then once the paint had dried, I covered it in a layer of Mod Podge. I tried to make the gray parts as smooth and flat as possible, but for the brown parts I intentionally left streaks to give it a nice wood grain texture. And I could have accentuated that with a dry brush of a lighter brown color, but I just didn't think to do that. Then after that dried, it was done. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I only have problems with how the edge of the blade meets up with the rest of it, but other than that, I think it looks really good. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.